What's up, my mentally ill friends? Today's video is about mental disorders you might have. Let's get started. First is dyslexia. This one is near and dear to my heart because I myself am unable to read. Dyslexia is actually much more common than people think. It is estimated that dyslexia affects between 10 and 20% of people. If you're like me, you have trouble with basic social interactions. You also grew up watching Disney Channel and saw that Bella Thorne ad where she talks about her struggles with dyslexia. You probably learned that dyslexia is when people mix up their B's and D's. This is wrong. Bella Thorne is a liar. Disney Channel is brainwashing the youth. It's true that a symptom of dyslexia is mixing up your B's and D's and M's and W's. But there are many more symptoms, such as having trouble comprehending something you're reading, difficulty reading out loud, or misspelling simple words. Dyslexia is thought to be genetic, so you can rest easy knowing that it's your parents' fault that you're an adult and you still have to hold up your hands to figure out which way left is. There is no cure for dyslexia, but there are ways to make reading easier. Your family can make you read everything from menus to cereal boxes to road signs. Next is avoidant personality disorder. This affects around 3% of people. This is when someone is afraid of social rejection, to the point where they avoid social interactions at all costs. They will avoid hanging out with friends and instead stay inside making YouTube videos all day because they're afraid people will make fun of them. This is thought to be a result of someone being bullied as a child. So if you're getting bullied, stop, because getting bullied equals being lonely down the road because you lack confidence. And I should know, I'm a math major. This is usually treated with therapy, but sometimes doctors prescribe antidepressants. In terms of self-confidence, the best advice I ever got growing up was, literally no one cares about you. No one cares enough to judge the clothes you're wearing or the jokes you make, so just be yourself. The next mental disorder is dyscalculia. This is when someone has trouble comprehending math problems. If I asked you to give me 83 cents, you'd probably ask how I got in your house. But if you had dyscalculia, you'd have trouble figuring out what combination of quarters, nickels, and pennies to give me. You would also have trouble dialing 911. Dyscalculia is thought to be genetic like dyslexia, but ultimately, doctors have no clue what causes it. For all we know, it could be the result of drugs, bad parenting, good parenting, something else. There's no real cure for dyscalculia, but practicing math is the best way to combat it. You could also use strategies to make math easier, like breaking down a problem or drawing it out, or my favorite, using a calculator. Dyscalculia is thought to affect between 5 and 10% of Americans. So the next time you get fired for giving the whole office $30,000 bonuses instead of $3,000 bonuses, sue them for workplace discrimination. Next on the list is dyspraxia. Dyspraxia is when someone is very uncoordinated. This can result in someone being very clumsy, have poor handwriting, or dropping their phone on their face at 3 a.m. This is thought to be genetic. The World Health Organization estimates that this affects 6% of people. However, one study estimates that it could be as high as 10%. But this, like Disney Channel ads about learning disabilities, shouldn't be trusted. There aren't many ways to treat dyspraxia. Physical therapy is really the only one. Dyspraxia does tend to get better as you get older, unlike my social skills. Next on the list is insomnia. This is when you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. 15 to 20% of adults have had short-term insomnia, lasting just a few months. And about 10% of adults have had chronic insomnia. Insomnia can be caused by stress, other mental illnesses, or genetics. See, your parents screwed you up yet again. There are a few ways to deal with insomnia. Therapy is a good one, but so are sleeping pills. However, doctors hesitate to prescribe them because of the side effects. What side effects, you might ask? Besides a life-ruining addiction, some people will do things in their sleep, such as walking, driving, and cooking. This is awesome if you ask me. I get to wake up to all my shopping done and some crepes. Hell yeah, load me up, doc. Next mental disorder is borderline personality disorder. This is when someone has an extreme difficulty managing emotions. This is kind of hard to explain, so I'm just going to list the symptoms and you'll understand the type of person I'm talking about. Someone with borderline personality disorder will have an intense fear of abandonment, a feeling of emptiness, brief periods where they love someone and then immediately hate that person, risky or impulsive actions, suicidal threats, and wide mood swings. As you can see, they base most of their decisions off emotions and place little to no emphasis on logic. Now, What sets them apart from every other 7th grade student is that they never grow out of it. Borderline personality disorder affects about 1.5% of people. That may not sound like a lot, so to put it into perspective, if you had 100 people in a room, one of them would be extremely emotional, and one of them would be bleeding profusely. There isn't much you can do to treat this. Once again, therapy and drugs seem to be the go-to answer. The next one on the list is synesthesia. This is when someone joins a word with the sensory perception. For example, someone might connect math class with the color blue. Right now, about 4% of y'all are like, wait, that isn't normal? And the other 96% of y'all are very confused. I saw an interview with the neuroscientist where he explained this very well. Watch. Your brain just came up with the name Harrison Ford. It also just came up with his voice and maybe even some movies that he's been in. Or if I showed you a pizza, your brain would come up with the taste of pizza. Alright, let's say you're still not getting it. Yeah, you heard this one, didn't you? So the same way your brain makes a connection between two related senses, someone with synesthesia's brain would make the connection between two unrelated things. Blue. They might also have an abstract concept of something's shape. For example, they might picture the days of the week surrounding them. On the extreme end, some people have full-on psychedelic visions with some things. They'll start tripping balls when you say the word bed frame. There is no real cure for this since it doesn't impede on a person's ability to function. If it gets too bad, hypnosis and therapy are the best treatments. That's all I got for today's video, y'all. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I post content like this weekly. Go check out what would, I guess, be the first part of this video. Let me know what mental disorders you have down in the comment section. I love y'all and have a great day. I was like 16, started making beats. Then I turned 17.